Welcome back to the third part of the English defense gambit, and we continue studying the quite exciting line after c4, b6, d4, e6, e4, bishop b7, knight c3, bishop b4, f3, f7, f5, e takes f5, and now black plays knight h6 move. So last time we were looking at this position a bit, and I started to say that black is just getting into the gambit mode when trying to sacrifice the material, the pawn and even a piece, in order to get the development advantage, and to use the quite open position of the white's king, which is still stuck in the center, when pawn on f3, which previously covered the e4 square, now is just quite a big problem for the knight on g1, which cannot be developed to f3. So otherwise white's knight has to look for other direction when h3 or e2 square has his own disadvantages. For instance, after white's knight going to e2, that bishop on f1 will be in some problem, and still white cannot castle so fast, and on h3, so knight also doesn't help so much to protect the center. So last time I showed you that after bishop takes h6 and queen h4 checks, g3 and queen takes h6, black is getting fantastic compensation for the sacrificed pawn. So he's going now to play short castle and having two bishops, when white still has to solve his problem about the development. So especially not so clear how to complete the development of the king side and to make castling. So usually white is trying not to capture it. One game I found on this line, played by Latvian grandmaster Edvin Kengis against Lars Jakobsen, when after queen d2, black decided even to exchange the queens. After queen takes d2, king takes d2, and knight c6. So pawn on d4 is under attack. F takes e6, d takes e6. So black is having additional threat of long castling, increase the pressure over the d4 pawn. d5 played, e takes d5, rook e1 check. So temporarily white is having some initiative. However, knight e7, c takes d5, long castling, bishop d3, and only now we can of course realize that after knight takes d5, black wins back the material, and still white is having a lot of problems. In addition to the advantages which I already pointed out, that white's king in the center, the white is having quite unpleasant pin over the d file. Black is having also two bishops in the open position, and special look at that, light square bishop is so active. So it's not a surprise that game didn't last for a while. After knight e2, black played simply bishop c5, bishop f5 check, king b8, king c1 was met by bishop e3 check, and after king c2 and bishop f2, white found himself in totally losing position. The problem is that rook has to leave the e1 square, and let's say after a move like rook c1, knight e3, so the bishop on f5 is hanging. So this fork is just really decisive. Same after rook f1 and knight e3, black is winning the material. So this short game, just 20 moves, showed quite seriously that white is having a not so easy life in all this line with knight h6. So the game between Hager and Lampert started with even slightly different moves order, but still came by